Hey everybody, this is Peter here at H&M Realty. So when I work with clients, it depends on if I'm working with an investor or just a regular client that's buying a property for themselves as a primary residence and not as an investor, or maybe they're selling one as just a regular client, not an investor. There's two different ways to handle them. Especially as you're a real estate agent, or if you're going to sell or buy a property, you got to realize one way versus another way depending on the client. One is an investor, and they're looking at the property as a completely black and white object. And the reason I say black and white object is they're looking at numbers to fit within a box that are going to make that property either work for them or not. And when you work with clients that are purchasing a property or selling a property, granted the numbers need to work and it needs to be within budget, but at the same time, on top of that, it's emotion. And what investors do is take the emotion out of it. Clients that are buying a property or selling a property, they still have emotion in it. They still have, hey, I love this street, I love this neighborhood, I love how the trees look on this street. A babysitter from 15 years ago lives right down the street. Like those types of things, like people really hold on to those things when they're buying a property or they're selling a property. I got to sell this property, but I don't know if I could because I grew up in this house. It was my parents, they sold it to me. There's a lot of emotion going on in just a normal client that's going to buy or sell a home. Flip that, and if you're looking at a real estate investor, let's say a fix and flip investor, which I've worked with a lot of them, they're looking at the property producing them amount of money. So that money could be $50,000 that they're going to make over the span of 6 months, $100,000. They're taking that object, and I call it an object, so they're taking that house or condo, townhome, whatever it is, and they're taking the emotion out of it and saying, is this going to meet my needs of what I'm going to invest my money in? And if it doesn't, they'll move on. They'll find another one. But that's different for clients that are looking to buy a property, their first home, second, third home. They're going to raise their kids in it. They need to have the right schools. They need to have it. And investors are looking at the right schools because if they get stuck in the property and have to rent it out, they're going to need good tenants to rent it out. So they're looking at those things, the external value of the property. But they're not looking at, I just want this property because you know what, it's in my hometown, the numbers don't work, but I know it's going to be able to sell for X amount. That's where investors get in trouble. That's where you create a negative return on your money, is going into a property, having emotion behind it, and ultimately not being in a position to sell that property for a profit. So that's why investors take all their emotion out of it and they go in buying a property just knowing the numbers. So just kind of some tidbits when you're looking to help investors versus clients that are buying and selling a property for themselves. Thanks for watching.